Welcome back to MK vs. DC.
When I got to the Wuxi Academy, you were already gone. I did find some guy dressed in red tights, though. I had him medevac to the
Flash?
Yes, remember, it was in the first part.
You gotta stop running off like that, Sonya. We're a team. You can't take on the bad guys alone.
I know. I'll work on it.
Go get yourself patched up. Meantime, I'll prep the portal for a jump to that space station.
I mean, it's nice hearing professional voice actors in a Mortal Kombat game.
Remember, Drips, this is the game that created the template that will be used for the reboot series. So this is the beginning of a new era for Mortal Kombat.
Also, Jax dog tag keep clicking all over the place.
Yeah.
Side effect of the two universes merging. The ethereal matrix seems to be more stable now. Just a few adjustments and we should be back in business. There. That's more like it.
That's good.
What the hell?
Allow me to introduce myself. Lex.
That's bad.
Perhaps you've heard of me or a little company I run.
Lex Luthor? What the hell are you wearing?
It actually lives. That's his traditional suit that he uses when he needs to fight Superman in actual combat.
Really?
Nobody should be even bulkier, actually.
The one do I see him barely wearing? He looks ridiculous in that thing.
Yeah, it's not one of the best designs for it.
He's voiced by Joe Thomas.
Maybe you and I should do.
He has done very different things, like Captain Schwan in Tales of Vesperia. Oh shit.
Impressive technology.
Rage.
Handshake, but if you insist.
Alright, Jax versus Lex Luthor.
Okay, remember the DC edict. We can't have anyone from DC doing fatalities, good or evil.
No, the bad guys can actually do that.
No, they allow the bad guys to do it. It's just not the good guys.
Hey, it's still better than what Marvel instructed for Marvel's Capcom. Like, we can't have our Marvel characters lose to Capcom characters.
Oh, well, that's Marvel for you.
Yeah, like I like this ain't like me trying to be that guy, but I feel like the MCU popularity has made them overprotective of their brand.
I think that's overprotective.
Also, I was checking Joe Thomas's filmography, or at least, you know, his career anyway. Apparently, he voiced, probably more recently, because I can't believe there was an original dub at that time, I don't want to mention. He voiced a recurring character in what I discovered only now. Apparently, there's an anime based on Treasure Island in the 70s. I wonder if Tatsunoko was behind this.
Well, remember too, back in the golden age of anime, that was kind of the deal, taking famous Western books and adapting them into 50-episode animes.
Alright, Lex, let's start talking more.
Took off that ridiculous thing while you're at it.
Somehow he
He needs a fighting chance.
Also, those dog tag physics.
Isn't he strong without that suit?
Looks like you
What? No!
only one way to be sure.
You're
That's
talking
how
about
it
Lex
works,
Luthor,
Libs.
Libs.
Lex Luthor is about as strong as Tony is without his iron suit. Like...
Alright.
Yeah.
Meanwhile...
Oh.
Sonya, you copy?
We've apparently been sent to different locations on the station.
Oh, fuck.
Not again.
Aw, what an inconvenience.
I thought Jarek tossed her off the cliff again.
Thankfully, no. And who could it be?
Captain Marvel.
Shazam and,
Lieutenant Redshirt.
As Earth merge continues, everyone's powers may be affected. I'll be joining you.
saying Shazam's Lieutenant Red Shirt, but he is wearing a red shirt.
Like I said, well, remember, Captain Marvel, normally our big nickname is the Big Red Cheese.
Well now, this just got a whole lot more interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, we're fighting Captain... I'm just gonna call him Shazam.
No, Captain Marvel.
Shazam's a better name anyway. What other superhero is even has a name even remotely similar to it?
The actual wizard who gives him his power.
Exactly, it's a name that's passed down different people.
That's still
A
not.
lot of lineage in that. Captain. You
Just-
just call it like Captain Generic.
If you really have trouble
Okay.
with him, just call him Billy. That's easier.
Okay, here's the thing, Glibs. The reason people are sore about calling him Shazam is like, well, it goes against the lore of the character. The name of Shazam was supposed to be the word he would incur to become Captain Marvel, because Shazam was the name of the wizard who gave him that power.
And it's like John said, it's an acronym based on the different 7 things that bestow him strength, wisdom, and all that shit.
I
It's
mean, but
also,
like
They
this,
can blame
Glibs.
Marvel for that front.
it's also the
Yes.
It's also the circumstances, Libs. Again, it wasn't like a natural thing that happened because DC wanted to provide like a new fresh start to the character. No, it was a result of a lawsuit because after literally decades of not being particularly pissed about it, Marvel Comics decided to throw a easy fit.
Let me put it like this. This is like if, per se, due to copyright litigations or whatnot, suddenly Marvel Comics couldn't call Spider-Man Spider-Man and had to call him the Human Spider instead.
Yeah. I can
No,
imagine-
it's the human web, actually. Get your Raimi lore rights.
I thought it was
No,
Night
no,
Monkey.
he
No,
said,
no,
he said
yes,
the
it
human
does.
spider.
Oh,
yeah,
well, that's okay.
yeah. It's literally the Human Spider, as he put it.
I mean, by this logic, is Marvel going to sue every work of fiction that has the word Marvel in it?
Who knows?
wonder-
Give him
Like, say for example, if Family Guy does a Marvel joke, a Marvel Studios joke, or a Marvel Comics joke,
Hey,
does that mean they get to sue them?
Pedro. Marvel won't sue Family Guy because they're both owned by Disney.
Oh,
Okay,
true.
that-
Okay,
that
South
human-
Park.
That
You
human
know my point.
spider
You
bit,
get my point.
that human spider
Oh, hi,
bit
Diana.
in the movie, was that like a gag, a rejected name for the character or something?
No, it was something that happens. Also,
Sub-Zero, what are you
Sub-Zero
doing with
too.
Diana?
Peter.
For the record, Wonder Woman in this version is actually voiced by Tara Platt.
I don't know what your universe is doing to mine.
Oh, she's
What
also
you're
possessed by
doing
the
to this
rage.
station. But
Everyone
true
gets
warriors
fucking
don't
possessed by the
use
rage
guns.
these days.
Was that a condition from DC as well? If the heroes are doing unheroic things, they must be possessed.
Honestly,
Basically,
I
yeah,
wouldn't be
this-
surprised. Yeah.
This is actually a good justification, though, if I had to ask.
Although, yeah, like Taylor said, yeah. To be fair, it does give a good justification for why the characters are fighting in the first place.
Again, Dweebs, stuff like in MK9, very stuff in MK9, like fights get started for the stupidest reasons ever.
Like, and I get it. It's a fighting game.
Are there any characters that are while on the side of heroic can be justified as doing unheroic things without being hypnotized?
Maybe Sonya, because she represents like a violent side of her realm. I don't know.
It's yeah, okay. At the same time, I will be fair. I can understand that it can be difficult to constantly come up with different reasons for the characters to fight each other. I understand. It's there's only so many reasons you can come up with. So sometimes, yeah, you're gonna have to, be a bit cheeky or silly about it.
Like
So
if it's just for gameplay purposes, for your 1v1 match or against the CPU, it's normally that doesn't really a problem. But again, if you create a story, you need to give some reason to make not the characters not being too much at least out of character.
I can see it now. Oh, that son of a bitch! Batman stole my cereal. He must die.
Like for an example, in MKX and 11, I'll mention later.
Sonya,
Congrats, Jax. You took out 2 top-notch superheroes controlled by the rage.
What's he doing up here?
Also, really, yeah, Sub-Zero, can't you just broke free from those?
No.
He just wanted to see why they were taking him.
He didn't want to steal Jax's spotlight.
More like he didn't want to see what they were treating. Taking him.
Too lazy to get free.
Oh my god! Oh no, his armor is tearing.
tell us what you know. Only that these warriors are unlike.
Seriously, these models have, their details, but are constantly clipping on them.
well, remember, Taylor, this was Midway working with Ed Boon and his team were working with the Unreal Engine 3 for that too, Dej. But this was their first time making an HD game, work with the Unreal Engine 3, so I can understand that this was like a big shift for them, so I'm a bit more lenient on it.
Plus, to me, Midway was getting weaker and weaker financially every day at this point.
Yeah, so this game was made under very strenuous circumstances. Also, MK mythology's reference of all things.
Cute, very
Again,
cute.
I think it's what you keep saying sometimes, Pedro.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It's not like they're gonna have a reference to special forces or anything.
No, Headboon hates that game.
Again, the Special Forces is the only game that has never been referenced at all.
Good
Really.
reason.
Not even for a costume, not even costume-wise.
Oh no, Mythologies at the very least has a
Raiden.
campy, fun story, even though the gameplay is
Not welcome.
evil. But the Special Forces is just boring. So boring.
Seriously, why are there no subtitles in this?
Your kind.
That's a fat joke. But sadly, some games from this gen still.
I know. Look. It's as we've mentioned plenty of times. 7th Gen was rough.
I don't think it's so much that it's rough. I don't think it's more so that it was rough. It's just that it took a long time for subtitles to become the standard in games.
And even
Longer than it should have.
No.
Longer than it should have,
That's
though. I will agree.
subtitles-
Definitely longer than it should
subtitles-
have. Go on.
Subtitles were even more common in 6th Gen than they were in 7th
Yeah,
Gen.
that's
7th
the
Gen
thing,
is
7th
just
Gen-
weird.
And it's
Yes,
that,
yes,
but,
it is.
Sometimes they included that, but they made sure to make them so tiny that you couldn't read them decently if you wanted.
It's weird. Like, you'd think during 7th Gen, when games were starting to become more cinematic of all places, they would remember to include subtitles. But no, if anything, 7th Gen is such a crapshoot with that stuff, among other problems. with
Yeah.
7th Gen.
I guess to be fair, even for as great of a game as it is, Kingdom Bridge of Spirits still does the small subtitles thing. So I guess even to this day, we're still having games with problems with that
Like,
subtitles.
Boggles the
Also-
mind, doesn't it?
Also, to answer your question from before, again, to give an example, MKX and MK11 established for the new status quo that Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade do get together and have a child. But eventually, with a time skip and everything, also grows up as a fighter. That means all three of them are technically playable. That means that for a 1v1 match or against the computer, you can pick two of them and they can perform fatalities onto each other, even though that would make no fucking sense because we have literally no reason to do that to each other. So in the story, they do not do that. But they can technically do that in the gameplay. That's usually what
obviously.
what the game does.
Alright, so almost done. There we go.
There we go.
Well done.
So Raiden, was this another test of yours?
Truly you are more
Test
powerful
your
than your
might.
sibling. But the corruption of the Lin-Kuei remains within you.
Oh, fuck you too then.
Yeah, I actually really love Richard Epcar as
Yeah.
Raiden. I'm-
The Lin-Kuei act solely in their own self-interest, regardless of the impact on Earthrealm.
They really do need to get out of that habit. It
And you-
especially came back to bite them in the second Mortal Kombat
Raiden,
anime
you
movie.
need to get your head out of your ass.
That being said, I have to admit, like, I wish the voice direction would have given them, like, I feel like
It was not here.
I feel like while the imposing god aspect is nailed perfectly in the voice direction, I feel like we could have also given a bit more wisdom into the voice as well. Because
Oh, look at that, the Rock of Eternity.
Yep. Kind of because I still really dig how Raiden sounds in Deadly Alliance. That was a really great voice for him. So I really wish they could have also implemented some of that, but I guess it's fine.
And they have grown ever stronger.
Quan Chi foresaw the intrusion from the other world, and that their champion would pose a dire threat.
And the Lin-Kuei sent you to eliminate this champion.
Yes. Much like this rock formation, the warrior's fortress appeared near the Lin-Kuei temple. I wore him down and sealed him in ice.
You did not wear him down. His power was siphoned away, redistributed to others.
Of course.
I must find Quan Chi to demand he reveal all that he knows.
This game didn't have subtitles as an option, did it?
No, it doesn't.
We just went through that edge, sorry.
Okay.
9 doesn't have it either. We had to wait for 10 to finally get subtitles in these bloody games. And hell, Armageddon. Hell, say what you want about
I
Armageddon.
think it does.
Gotta give Armageddon some credit. Armageddon had subtitles in the bloody cutscenes.
No, right. Injustice does have it because in my country it's not voiced, so we do get subs. All right. You took a wrong turn, Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero, why are you doing in Gotham?
I'll be honest.
He thought he'd do some sightseeing.
I'll
Apparently.
be honest. I'm gonna be honest,
did you-
guys.
Yeah, it's late.
Did you see his ending to
That's
this
true.
game? It's hilarious.
Yes, Dwebs?
I'm gonna be honest. There's been quite a few times since the PS2 era begun where I've really missed it. I really missed this. At least not the exact dialogue, but the style of dialogue from Mortal Kombat 4.
Anyway, Deathstroke in this version is actually voiced by Patrick Seiss.
Well,
It's funny, Driz, because when we first commented on Mortal Kombat 4, you actually hated those cutscenes, but now they've really grown on you.
Well, actually, no. I think Dwebs always enjoy them for a laugh. I mean, it's more so the fact
Yeah,
that
they've been good for a laugh, but ever since who's the main writer for this era?
John
John Vogel.
John Vogel.
Ever since John Vogel started writing, it's been like it's still bad dialogue, but half the dialogue ain't even all that fun.
Honestly, I feel like
the bits that were entertaining were the scenarios that they were in. Like, I don't remember I remember the hilarity of Blandy McBland from Mortal Kombat Deception suddenly getting arrested for breaking the rules. He's been doing that before and no one arrested him. But that was it. It was the situation that was funny, not the dialogue.
Again, Leaves, after 4, the series in general started taking itself more seriously and toned down the camp.
Well,
At least story-wise.
To its credit,
Let me put it like this.
on.
Up until this game, yes, the series was going on a much more take it serious bout here and there, and that was not helped by the bad stories either here and there. This one, finally, okay, it's not as hokey as Mortal Kombat 4, and to be fair, I'm kind of glad. Like, don't get me wrong, Mortal Kombat 4 is hokey and all, but I feel like it got a little too hokey there. A balance was needed. This game is the one that starts moving the series more towards that balance. Like, you got some of the more corny aspects and lines here. I mean, it's Mortal Kombat versus DC. You kind of have to here and there. It's more over the top as well.
If it helps you, Dwebs, starting with the next game, Mortal Kombat 9, John Vogel will only be a story writer with somebody else writing the script. So, this is going to be his last time writing the script, the dialogue.
Which, again, I'd say this one did show that he was...
this is actually his best script, actually. Definitely. It's interesting because the dialogue in Armageddon is so bad, and to go from that to this, it's obviously it's still not great by normal standards, but by Mortal Kombat standards, yeah, this was definitely a big step up for Armageddon.
Sub-Zero just found the Batcave
out of nowhere.
Is it really that easy to get in there?
That's definitely not Kevin Conroy as Batman. Oof.
It's funny because they later...
To be fair,
because they later got Kevin Conroy back for the Injustice game.
Yeah.
To be fair, there's been so many actors who played Batman at this point.
I know, but this one doesn't even try. Not just that, this one doesn't even try to sound at least remotely like.
Well, again, to be
The thing
fair,
is, Kevin Conroy is the Batman voice to a lot of people.
Well, yeah, obviously.
I mean, but to be fair, you don't have to. This is a different incarnation from the one that Kevin Conroy normally does. So,
again, not all countries think with that kind of mentality. When we do think of a character, regardless of incarnation, we try to stay as consistent as possible.
Unless you're Hollywood.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just speaking for my country.
For America too, as well. People.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying Batman should sound like, I don't know, a Robert Duck or something. It's just, I don't mind variety.
Let me separate it from that. This voice actor still doesn't sound good on his own.
Oh yeah, the problem here is that it doesn't work for the context of this game. That's the problem. That being said, to aid to Dwebs as well, there is also a problem where...
Oh, cool! One of the stage transition bouts here and there.
Yeah, they're cool. I just wish they were done for something else than QTEs. But And to be fair to Dwebs' point, there's also the while consistency is nice and all, if you do it way too much and apply it to every single thing, it can also become to a point where it can become a detriment, because like I've said before, and I'll say it again, putting Roger Craig Smith voicing Sonic in that movie wouldn't have worked. You really needed a different actor for that different type of characterization that Sonic has. Yes, you could put it, but it wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't.
It could have worked,
plus Ben
but I do
Schwartz
like
does
what we
have-
got.
Plus Ben Schwartz is also a trained voice actor himself, so at the very least we also, so at the very least, you know, that hurdle's also covered.
I also feel like we never really given Roger the chance to have a direction with Sonic to sound like that, though. So it can't. So
It's like I said. Honestly, it could have worked theoretically. I can get why they didn't go with it. But that said, I will say this, yeah, maybe when Roger someday gets the chance, we can see that. I'm just gonna hold it to, it could have worked with Roger, but it did happen to work with Ben as well.
Sure. For me, it's one of those things where it all depends. I'm more concerned with the context of the game, because like even back when MG, I can't see now.
Mm-hmm. Also, Sub-Zero managed to accomplish what Bane couldn't. That's sad.
Well, Sub-Zero.
To be fair, Batman was controlled by the Raid.
He said the line.
They said the line.
He said the line. He said the line. Everybody, we can go home now.
Okay, bye guys.
Yeah, and that was the last thing Ed Boon did in the office that day.
Oh yeah, Quan Chi, how you doing?
I guess he's enjoying a BDSM session with Scorpion.
Well,
We interrupted something.
Well, Scorpion is.
What else Kratos doing here?
Well, remember too, Quan Chi tortured him when he first turned him into a Spectre. So this is revenge.
Also, Leaves, don't worry, Kratos is for the next game.
Okay. To actually go into what's up, Quan Chi tricked Scorpion into thinking that Sub-Zero is his enemy. So there you go.
Fight!
But yeah, no. For me, it's also for me. It also depends in terms of context for the specific game in general. Because even back, and I'm actually probably the only person in the world that thinks this. Actually, like even back when MGS3 first came out, I was never exactly super into David Hayter voicing him with the exact same voice he gives to Solid Snake, because he's supposed to be a different character. And yes, I get that, and I get that Solid Snake is a clone of Big Boss. I get that. But Solid doesn't sound exactly like Big Boss. Liquid Snake doesn't sound exactly like Big Boss. So if anything, having Big Boss be voiced by that to me is actually inconsistent. Actually, and
there are things to explain away those inconsistencies.
Not to mention, you know, Solid turned out to be the perfect clone among the batch, so it would make sense if he sounded exactly like him.
Yeah, but I don't know. Well, I still think whatever.
Alright, have you got it out of your system, Scorpion?
Also, I'm really glad that we finally had a Sub-Zero versus Scorpion fight where Sub-Zero wins.
Well, actually, hasn't there been? I'm pretty confident it's not always Scorpion that wins. But
during this modern formula, because it's Scorpion that wins. So it's like,
Well, in the reboot trilogy, at least in Scorpion and Sub-Zero actually become allies. So if that helps you.
Wasn't that after Scorpion had to beat Sub-Zero because Sub-Zero was trying to kill him?
No, it's more complete. It's also
in 9, well, it made sense in 9 because remember, in 9 he wanted to avenge his brother's death, so it made sense there. But then in 10, Sub-Zero actually realized for himself that the Lin-Kuei were evil, and he actually went out of his way to make amends with Scorpion and even start an alliance with him, which we even see in 11 even. So.
Bye.
See ya.
Remember, 9 is a retelling of 1, 2, and 3, so it makes sense to.
Wait, hold on, wait. Doesn't this take place after Mortal Kombat 4, though?
No, actually, no. It's an alternate sequel to 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that explains why Scorpion is still working with Quan Chi, even though he literally had Quan Chi chained up there.
This is before he realized that the real killer of his family was actually Quan Chi.
Yeah.
So. All right, so there's the thing, Jova. Even I was just saying that 9 is a retelling of 1, 2, and 3, and yet Quan Chi is in it. So in these,
it includes some elements from 4.
So they start foreshadowing what happens in 4. Even the animated films do that, where the Scorpion's Revenge is a retelling of 1, but Quan Chi is still in it. So Quan Chi has been retroactively implemented into the story from the beginning, basically.
Considering also this first appearance was in mythologies, I guess it makes sense.
The
newer games that retell do.
According even to John Tobias himself with mythologies, he has been around since the beginning, so it does make sense to do that in these retellings and reboots. All right, everybody, into the next part to see. Hopefully, we'll figure out what the fuck is going on. So, see ya.